You're watching Tech Talk in affiliation with Tech for Techs. We're a community that supports independent trade with the help of vendors and distributors. We're live every Thursday at 8 p.m. London time, and we'll be streaming to Facebook and YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. You can listen to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, Google, TuneIn, and many more. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, and your host, Philip Griffiths.
Hello everyone, welcome to Tech for Tech Tech Talk, where we help your business grow. Episode 16, What to Stock. Please comment in the comment section, let us know where you're viewing from and what company you are working for. And obviously let us know if you can hear us, because obviously if we don't know, then, well, we just don't know. So let me just make sure that's all turned on. Yes, it is. Right. So if you have any thoughts or questions on this topic, please feel free to comment in the comment section. If you're watching from the Facebook group, please click the link I'm about to put in chat. That will allow you to basically have your name shown on the comments section, and you won't be just called Facebook user. Again, if you are currently watching, please comment in the chat to let us know that you're there and that we're just not live to ourselves. And let's have a look. Well, looks like we've got Call Me following us. Yeah, here we go, and a Facebook user as well. So we've got one or two people coming in. So we are joined today by Jenni, Ian, Peter, and Tim. So first of all, I would like to would you like to introduce yourself? Let's go for Tim. Let us know who you are, what you do, and if you've got any tips or advice for us today.
Yes, I'll say from North York. I live in North Yorkshire, but originally from London. The general, say, tips-wise, I would say time, keep it to the market.
Okay, Tim, we're losing you a bit at the moment, Tim. I'll come back to you in a few seconds. You're sounding pretty broken up, and your picture's frozen as well. So I'll come back to you in a few minutes, okay? So, right, okay, so let's move on to Ian. Ian, if you want to give us a bit of information about yourself, who you are, what you do, what you work for, and if you've got any tips and advice, feel free to let us know.
Hi everyone, my name's Ian from IPC Solutions, based in Malden, Essex. Just a part-time repairer and supplier and seller of computers and laptops, etc. Tips, I would say from a customer's perspective, is please back up all your data, especially when you send it into a repair shop, because they could sometimes lose your data without you paying them maybe to back it up, although most of us do as a precautionary measure anyway, I'm sure. but it is usually a chargeable service and can be quite expensive, especially if you have to send it off to people like Alison at EADR. From my personal thing is with regards to older tech, and I know this kind of carries on over to next week's show, which I'm quite looking forward to, is keep those old broken laptops, because you never know when people need parts, especially all our tech for tech friends in the group, because we're always after parts for older machines as people see the value in them much more these days.
Right, that's pretty good. Right, let's go over to Peter. Peter, if you want to introduce yourself and see if you managed to get your microphone sorted, as well as the added extras in the background I can see.
Hi, Phil. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yes, it sounds like you got your microphone sorted.
Good stuff. I'm Peter from ScanStation Computers. We're based between Bognor and Chichester and West Sussex. We've got a retail store, and we do manage services for small and medium businesses as well. My tech tip this week would be, if you're debugging blue screen issues on Windows 10, you may or may not be aware, there's various tools, but Microsoft's own debugging tool is actually published in the Microsoft store. If you search for WinDBG Preview, if you download that tool and open it, it will actually pop up in the right-hand corner and say, hey, I can see there's a memory dump on your system. Do you want to open it? And you can debug it straight from there. So previously, we've maybe used Blue Screen View from Nersoft, but WinDBG Preview is actually really good, and it's in the Windows 10 store, so you can just download that.
That's pretty good advice, actually. I'll have to have a look into that one. So, yeah, it's definitely better than looking up everything yourself, that's for sure. Right, let's go back to Tim. So, Tim, if you want to try and introduce yourself again and let us know who you are, what you do, and if you've got any tips.
Yep, you should be able to hear me now, hopefully.
I can hear you now.
Yeah, that's good. So my name's Tim. I run TCAM, PM and IT Solutions. I'll say I do a lot of repair stuff, deal with a lot of refurbs at the moment, particularly with the whole schools thing. I've got sick and tired of rebuilding laptops for over. At one point, I'd convey about 20 or 30 of them. But I've been doing a lot more stuff for businesses lately as well, rebuilding them, the computers, or going in, upgrading networking while the offices have been closed, waiting for next week. But yeah, I'd say tip-wise, I'd say is don't stay complacent. Don't assume the market's going to stay the same where you are, and just always try and stay current, adapt what you do, adapt if you need to do training for it. Don't be afraid to adapt with the times, really.
Yeah, good advice there. You just don't get complacent and think everything's going to be fine. Always look for the changes and so forth. It's always a good idea, that one. Right, let's move over to Jenny. Jenny, if you want to just tell everyone who you are, what you do, and if you've got any tips for us today.
Well, my name is Jenny, and I'm the owner of Tech for Techs, and I also build and repair computers for Phil and help him out at his store. So it depends on what day of the week it is and what time of the day it is as to what I am to you. My story this week comes from LG. Some people know them as makers of smartphones and stuff like that. Well, after, I think it's July the 31st, July 31st, no longer will they be doing mobile phones. They're going to concentrate solely on supplying electronic car parts. And they'll be doing the touch screens for dashboards and things like that. So it's going to concentrate on that and not mobile phones after the 31st of July. So it's really kind of bad in that if you need parts for an LG phone, it might be a shortage of them.
Okay, that's pretty good advice there. Right, okay, so, I suppose it's me. So, I'm Phil Griffiths. I own Chips Computers, and I also work as an influencer at Tech for Techs, hence why I'm hosting the show. My tip of the day, let's have a think. Well, actually, my first tip of the day is actually our first sponsor. So, we've actually got a sponsor of the show today, and that is Fab's Auto Backup. Fab's Auto Backup, one of the most useful and affordable tech tools on the market. Gone are the days where you had to back up user email settings in Outlook, copy and paste document folders from one drive to another, and save all your bookmarks separately. Fab's Auto Backup does all that with ease. Just run the ultra portable program on your PC, click Backup Now, choose where you want to back up the user profile, then tick the boxes of what you want to back up, and it will do it all for you with ease. And if you are a Tech for Techs member, you get an extra 25% discount on Fab's Auto Backup 7 Pro. Well, there you go. So, as you can see, I like Fabs, and also they're the sponsor this week. Also, Intel has now released their new range of CPUs, the 11000 series. And surprise, surprise, they're actually amazing performance. Well, compared to a 10-year-old CPU anyway. But compared to a 10th gen, so the last generation, they're pretty underwhelming in all honesty. Good news, there does seem to be stock around, possibly because no one wants to buy them. And graphics card wise, well, there's no stock still, so tough luck there. So, right, let's go on to the chat first before we go on to the main topic. So let's have a look. So we've got quite a few commenting on, so let me start at the beginning. So hi Cormy and Drew from Greentail, Robert from, well, Robert saying Robert. Okay, hi Robert. We've also got Mark as well from Rayleigh Computer Shop. Loud and clear is saying, that's good, at least you can hear us. We've got Paul as well saying evening from Neo Computers. You've also got Giddy from Straya, I think that's pronounced. And Call Me saying good tips there. I think that was mainly to the one regarding the blue screens from Peter. We got Raheem as well. Good evening, guys. We got Ben from Computer Buddies. Let's have a look. Raheem again from Tech Central Repair and Data Rescue Center here. And we've also got Joseph saying good evening, loud and clear from Kenya, apparently. So it looks like we've got a good few people there. And someone saying Fabs is excellent. And Call Me always commenting how Fabs is also brilliant as well. So let's go on.
Is.
It is, to be honest. If you guys haven't used Fabs, I know they're the sponsor of the show and everything. It's something that we use all the time. We're actually talking about it on the pre-show. I think it was Ian who was saying he's actually bought it, but he just hasn't got around to using it yet. But it's a brilliant tool. If you want to transfer user profiles data from one machine to another, we use it to back up all the machines that come into our store for repair, just in case anything goes wrong. We've got a backup of all the user files. But also, if someone's having a new machine or a new hard drive, you can easily transfer the data from one to another. Don't get me wrong, it won't transfer programs. It's not like a cloning tool, but it will actually copy lots of data and stuff like that. So I must admit, it is a brilliant tool, or it's done us well anyway. Let's go on to the main topic then. So if any of you guys have got any thoughts or questions on this topic, please feel free to comment. If you're watching from the Facebook group, please make sure you've clicked the link I'm putting in chat right now. That way your name will show up on the screen and you won't be just called Facebook user. Right, so the main topic is what to stock. So with retail stores opening again on Monday after the latest and hopefully last lockdown, fingers crossed, it's a good time to have a look at what we have and what we can add to our stores. That also goes for people who work from home as well, because obviously there's a lot of you guys who work remotely, call out services, or for example as an MSP and so forth, and I know you tend to keep a lot of stock in like security software and so forth. So let's start at the top first. So let's go to Ian. Ian, have you got any tips of what sort of things we need to keep in?
Well, if I work from home, and I do have a couple of storage containers now where I keep a lot of my bigger stock. I tend to pallet flip quite a lot in my spare time, and a lot of that is various technology projects. So it might be AV equipment. Lots of it is server equipment as well, which is quite bulky. But for the office, it's always memory, loads of SSDs, M.2s, both sizes, 2242s, 2280s, and I don't have many 2268s, I think they are, but I do need some because a couple of laptops that I'm actually refurbishing need that size. And if you haven't got the caddies, which is hard to get, especially it seems even on eBay, the stocks of caddies are dwindling. So I do keep an awful lot of caddy stock that I've ordered from AliExpress. Takes about a week to 2 weeks to get here, so I keep a lot of those in stock. I sell them, as well as using a lot of them for upgrades and refurbishing lots of laptops that I've got in. What else do I keep in stock? Desktops, mini desktops. I always keep a gaming PC or two when the graphics cards are available in stock as well. And yeah, just lots of everyday, and chargers, laptop chargers, and if you can get them, batteries. But that's what I tend to keep in stock, and a few bits of Microsoft Office 365. I keep those as well, and antivirus.
Okay. Yeah, what antivirus are you using?
Well, I've still got a few packets of BullGuard Internet Security, which I purchased from a couple of suppliers, and I just discovered a little bonus in my reseller account thing that I never knew was there, with some commissions that they've paid me for probably the last 5 years that I just didn't think I was ever going to get. But now they've been taken over by Norton. We'll see where the product goes, because I do like BullGuard. I use it myself. I've sold it for years. A lot of my customers have it and have been happy with it. I hope they don't change it. I really don't, because Norton was awful. Yeah, so, but I've only got a few of those left, and then I'll be making that decision. Where do I go and who do I stock? We'll have to wait and see where this Norton merger or buyout of BullGuard goes.
Yeah, I agree.
In the coming weeks, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Well, what's everyone's thoughts in chat about BullGuard being bought out by Symantec or Norton or whatever you want to call them? Do you think that's a good thing? I have a feeling we're going to get a few saying no to that, or do you think it's a real bad thing? If you want your comment, Jen, I'm going to say I know BullGuard themselves are probably a bit tight-lipped about what's going on. Obviously, they've probably got NDAs, like non-disclosures they've signed and stuff, legal things and stuff. So pretty much the replies we're getting back are your sort of unautomated reply, near enough in a sense.
I will just say I like BullGuard, the product, and I like the people that I work with at BullGuard. I like Pete, the guy that comes around to see you and everything. Pete Johnson is a really good guy. Lucy, all of them. Pete, Worley, yeah. I was going to say the other Pete. Yeah, all of them really nice people to work with at BullGuard. I wouldn't hear, a bad thing about them. And the product is good. It does what it says on the tin, and you don't have to worry with it. Now, my worry is that now that Symantec has bought it, it will be a Symantec style product. And what that means to me is it's going to be a resource hog and make the computers go to a crawl, which is the reason I sold BullGuard instead of Norton to begin with. So I don't want it to become a Norton product. Now, if Symantec keeps it as is, and it's just, like an absentee landlord type of thing, that's fine. But the day that it starts showing signs of being Symantec or Norton kind of thing, I'm going to have to look for something else.
Yeah, I'm not going to say Mark just says it would be a shame if it loses its identity. BullGuard, as we activate around 50 on a bad month and 100 on a good month. So I'm guessing his revenue share must be pretty good if he's doing that. So it would take something, obviously, to get you to move. But I think, like us, if we suddenly get Norton branding on it, after we tell all our customers, don't buy Norton, it's going to be sort of it's going to be one of them things of we're going to be like kicking ourselves in the teeth sort of things, like, you don't want to buy Norton and then you've just gone and bought Norton from us. So it's I'm hoping, fingers crossed, and I've got faith in the guys who run it, but you just don't know what pressures they're under and what they're being told to do and what not to do. So fingers crossed, everything will be fine, but it's more of a watch this space, I think, at the moment. Right, Jen, let's go on to stock. What sort of stock do you think you should be stocking up for when we reopen?
Well, I'm going to do what sells them the best, and that is the essentials. Things like ink always sell in the consumables area. Packs of paper always sell. And I'm going to keep just a few wireless mice, maybe 2 of each style, in a couple of packs of wireless keyboard and mouse combos, batteries, USB mice and keyboards, a couple of those each. I'm not going to go all out like I once did and have like 12 of each type of peripheral in the house. I'm just going to keep it more of a repair shop side and a few bits and bobs for sale this go instead of a retail kind of thing, because with the lockdowns like we've suffered through in the recent past, I don't want to be stuck with a lot of stock sitting on the shelves if we have to go back into a lockdown. So I'm just going to cull it down on the retail side. I will have retail products there, such as a refurb laptops and things of that nature that I know will sell. But I'm not going to have a whole wide array like I once had.
Okay, that's pretty good. I'm going to say it's one of those things we just don't know what's going to happen next week when we reopen. We could be busy, we could be quiet. It could be one of those things people are wanting to use us because it's in the press and everything, use local and stuff. And we've had quite a few calls from people saying, "Oh, I've calling you first because you're local and stuff." But the thing is, a lot of our customers who have bought from us in the past are people who wouldn't buy stuff online. Now, for the last year, they've been forced to buy stuff online, and the sort of, is it one of those things they're going to carry on or not? So we don't want to go too mental and buy loads of stock and find out no one wants to buy it, and then suddenly there's another lockdown in 2 months' time, and we're stuck with a load of stuff which is not going to sell for another 6 months, and so on. So yeah, I must agree there. Sorry, Jen.
To answer Paul, that's compatible ink. I find that the compatible ink from Target for Epson printers by Ink Labs is just as good as the genuine ink, and everybody seems pretty happy with it. And we sell a ream of Xerox paper for about £4.
Yeah, I think the cost is about $2.60, myself at £4. Don't make a huge profit, do we, really, on paper?
No.
We make a good
It's just
margin
a
on ink.
convenience. It's a convenience that we offer in the store.
Yeah. We do. It's Paul. It's the compatible ink we sell. Currently, we're using the ones what Target sell mostly. Ink Labs, is it? Because we
Yes.
don't have any issues with them. So sometimes there can be a bit hit and miss on stock, which I think I've mentioned to Target a few times. But when we do buy stuff from them, like the inks, it's usually pretty good. We don't have an issue, and their ink's probably not as cheap as in some places, but again, as I said, we never have an issue with it. We've bought inks from other places in the past, usually these unbranded or feather boxes or whatever they call them, rainbow boxes, and who knows what, and we get a good number of returns. But since we've done the Ink Labs, our return levels have been probably pretty much less than 1%, if not zero. I can't remember the last time someone brought ink in what had issues, but then again, it might be different for other people.
Can I just ask Jen, what is the quality like on photos with that compatibility? Because I find that the photo quality is rubbish on some of the inks that I've used in the past.
I have seen the posters that we printed out for when COVID-19 came through, and we had to do like hand sanitizer posters and things like that, and the colors were very brilliant. I haven't done really a lot of photos per se, like of normal everyday human beings, but my customers use it, and they do crafting of cards and stuff like that are personalized with pictures on them. And I haven't had one complaint. There was one lady that did have something go wrong, but it was down to her printer. So a head clean rectified that. It wasn't down to her ink. It was just down to needing a head clean in general.
Yeah.
So if you keep your printer maintained and everything like you shouldn't really have any problems with that ink. It's
Yeah.
consumable, so it's not going to be without flaw, but it's a good product.
Yeah, I've been to a few customers' houses because obviously I do the call outs and obviously sell them the ink and stuff, and a lot of them swear by it. They say the colours are better than the original. I can't say if it is or not. But one thing I will say about any compatible ink I've seen is if you've got it in sunlight or anything like that, it does fade or the colours start looking a bit washed out after a while. So if you're going to use it as like in a frame or something on a mantelpiece, maybe not always the best option. But if you're using it for general printing or putting it in a photo album, they seem to be fine.
I might try some of those for my one then. If I do them for HP Office Jets.
That's good. Let's go on to Peter. So, Peter, you've got a retail store. What will you be stocking, or what do you find is a popular thing?
So what we know is when we've been doing click and collect in lockdown, all people have been buying is what they actually need at that particular point. You're not getting any of the impulse purchases. People aren't getting stuff they don't need. It's literally stuff they need. And as we come out of lockdown, I don't think we're going to go into another lockdown. I must admit, I hope we won't. So we're going to make sure we've got laptops, cables, ink cartridges, paper, all that stuff. I think we sell Arima paper for £4.50 for the Xerox paper. The post office down the road sells Arima paper for £7. So we're quite cheap in comparison for a retail store. Maybe not as cheap as a supermarket, but it's good quality paper. People like to come and see us, and I think people are going to want to come out once we're out of lockdown. We've already noticed in the last couple of weeks, people are very keen to get out and about again. They almost think we're open again now, even though it is really from Monday. But I think people that have been putting up with bad laptops and computers, once they know they can get out and get in a shop and look at them, because some people do actually want to go in the shop and see and feel the computers and laptops rather than just buy them on spec over the phone. I mean, a few people we've been out to see them and install them, but it's not the same as going in and seeing them all on display and being able to compare them, feel them, check the weight. So we're going to make sure. I know stock's not great at the moment. Normally we'd have 10 or 12 different models of laptop. Probably only got 5 or 6 at the moment, and pricing's not fantastic, but should still be there and thereabouts. And people want the setup services as well. So people really do value that. They don't all shop on price. And we're just going to make sure. And with the inks, we do the Ink Lab compatibles and originals. We give people the choice. Some people will only want the originals. Some people will get, see the value in the compatibles. And if you put them side by side, there is a slightly noticeable difference. So I know we have a customer that prints money, like novelty money. So the Only Fools and Horses or Harry Potter banknotes. And he's done them on the originals and compatibles. And we've actually got one of each in the store. And they're close. They're very close. The original is probably slightly brighter, but the way he looks at it is the price difference. The saving is so much on the compatibles. They normally just go with those unless he's got someone particularly fussy. So we try and give people the choice of either. Obviously, compatibles, the margin's much better than the originals. Very slim margin on an original. But on the Ink Lab ones, a multi-pack, you could be buying them for £2 and selling for £15 plus VAT, something like that. Yeah. So it's very, very healthy margins to be made on those. It's definitely worth looking at.
Yeah, we do good on the inks, and we do buy 3 sets for a certain price and so forth, and it is good markups. If it's one thing I would recommend is you look into compatible inks, and one of the ways we only sell Epson compatible inks. We don't do any of the others, and the main reason why we only do that is because we only sell Epson printers. So we tend to find our customers who we sell Epson printers to then come back and buy Epson inks. So we haven't got the biggest store in the world. It's quite small. It looks a bit like a TARDIS from the outside, but we've only got limited room, to be honest. So we can't hold everything in there. But so we try and be a bit picky on what we've got. But we've got, I don't know how many was it, about 12 different models of Epson compatible inks, I think it is, if not more.
Yeah.
So they're quite popular, and people are still buying inks from printers from 10 plus years ago. So yeah, I agree with Peter there. Again, I've not seen the side by side other than when we've seen them at Target's open day and stuff like that, which obviously they're going to be a little bit biased with their printouts. But I must admit the quality does look pretty good from what I've seen. So definitely for the price difference. So it's probably 95% of the quality sort of thing for like 95% of the price, if you know what I mean. So
at the Target Open Day, I saw the Ink Labs copy next to the genuine. And if I had been a consumer not looking for the difference, I probably wouldn't have known. Really. So, sadly.
there we go. I think we've got a few laughs coming in from the from chat. So Facebook user, I'm not sure who that is. Click that link I put in the group if you're in the Facebook group, and it'll pop up with your name. But he's saying that the most essential shop tonight is the barber shop. I must admit, my hair really. There's only so much hair stuff I can put on it to keep it down at the moment. So
I'm booked Monday, so
I'm booked in. I've got my hair appointment. I think it's the 28th.
Yeah, I'll be going as soon as I'm passing the store. I'll be going in basically. So, Ben, link for Ink Lab. Ink Labs is
it's an exclusive to Target. I don't
Target.
even.
Yeah, Target Components. So that's targetcomponents.co.uk, I believe. They have them there, and they have pretty much most models there. So, and that's for you, Ben. Hi, Alison. Hi, Kunal as well. Ben's also saying he can't afford another lockdown. Is now wider than his fridge. Apparently, so I think most of us have gone through that one. It's being stuck at home all day is not the best thing. So I'll blame lockdown for my issues. But there we go. Right, let's move on to Tim. Tim, you've not got a store yet, but you're going to be opening in one soon, if I'm right. What's your view on what you should stock or not?
Well, I'm pretty much going to be looking. I've already got orders in place for mainly, like, call it the key components that I'm always selling, or the key reasons people come in would say, I've got an old laptop, it can fit a 2.5-inch drive, so usual solution, dump an SSD in it, that kind of thing. But along with that, so key things like 2.5-inch drives, the caddy trays that go with them. So as well, because I've got a lot of customers around me that are the younger kids that have got the gaming computers that are they've had them for a few years. They're nice cheapies, but they just haven't got an SSD in them, that kind of thing. A few, I'm looking at 2 terabyte drives as well, for, like, say, a lot of gaming rigs for upgrade components. Again, the usual key things, the cable and the cables, the SATA cables, and all the stuff that goes with it. But yeah, see, the only other thing really I'm going to be looking at stocking because I will have limited space. With the space that I'll have, actually, they call it a display space as such. And the store I'll have is really going to be stuff like the actual keyboards, that kind of thing. So I'll probably go for a couple of the glow in the dark ones. Again, you've got the gaming market that seem to jump at them, that kind of thing. But yeah, so really, I'm looking at focusing on the key things that sell in the area that I base out of at the moment. So.
Okay, that's pretty good. Just to let you know, Ben, Ben. So let me just put you a link in chat so you can see that web address for Target Components. There you go. So that's Target Components, what sell the inks. If anyone from Target's watching, feel free to send me some commission over. I won't complain. Hint, hint.
I would like to shout out to Mrs. C from East Anglian Data Recovery. How are you doing tonight, Mrs. C?
Yeah, I'm guessing she's doing well. Now, obviously, we're not going to be able to hear her. But, right, so let's go on to mine. Some of the most popular things, or should I say things what people need and most profitable for us, is cables. There's a saying out there, I don't know how true it is, but I wouldn't be surprised that PC World pays for the rent of its stores from just selling cables because of the markup on them. obviously, I don't know how much they sell USB cables for anymore, but it wasn't that long ago they were selling printers for really cheap, and then you'd have to spend nearly 20 quid on a cable to actually get it to work. And there was even speculation to open the boxes up and take the cables out, so people would have to buy them separately. If that's true or not, I don't know. And I'm not going to say anything else about that, just in case someone's watching. But yeah, basically, you can make a lot of profit on cables. If you've got a retail store, I'd say go for a set brand of cables with retail packaging. Nothing worse than having loads of cables stuck on the wall in little plastic bags, what look like something out of a pound shop or something like that, or even worse than a pound shop. Get something
Sandwich
like
bags.
yeah, I've seen them. You can do your own and blister black them and stuff like that, but it's just more work, which you probably don't have time for. There are different places out there. There's Goliath Computers, I think it is. They sell some cables. We've reviewed them in past. I know Target Components, again, they sell their own cables. I think they're VCOM, if I remember right. And they're all blister packed and to the most degree, your uniform design. There are a few differences on a few of them, but in most cases, they're uniform design. But again, it's something to think about. And again, it's one of those things you can buy HDMI cable in for a couple of quid and sell it for a tenner or whatever. It's always a good markup. Don't get me wrong, people always get them cheaper online, but then again, you're providing a service, an essential thing where people obviously need to come in and need it then and now.
Yeah,
so,
I think that's what I get. That's really, for example, is what I get a lot of. I happened over the weekend, for example, Easter weekend, and I got a phone call. Did I have a hard drive because someone's computer died? Just prime example, and just happened to have some in. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. So it's essential ones like that. Obviously, your phone cables like charging, HDMI, VGA, LAN cables, kettle leads, figure of eights, Mickey Mouses, and all your different things. USB, they're all your essential ones. And obviously, it's up to you if you get converters and adapters on. That's obviously an extra. But that's one thing. The next thing for me is not necessarily a product in the store, but it's a tool to sell products in the store. And let me just set up my screen share and make sure it actually is working. So, but basically, this is from here we go. Let's have a look. Share. Here we go. This is from Target Components. Again, we've mentioned them a few times today, and it's their custom PC builder. This changed our business selling computers. It completely changed it. It made us from selling, I don't know, I think our sales probably went up by probably 8 times once we started using this tool. But basically, it's a system where you can design a case. Okay, it only uses stock that Target have, so that's one downfall. You can't add your own stock, but you can set your own prices. But people can go in and basically design their own machine in your store or so forth, or you can basically talk them through it and so forth. So you can start at the case and choose the case style you want in and so forth. Let me just refresh the page because I've had it on too long. It's not showing the prices. So you choose what you want. So I don't want a CRT case. Not a fan of Intech. Let's go for the Game Max. Not my first choice, but so Game Max, and then you'll click on motherboard, and it'll tell you what motherboards fit in that case. So you can choose that motherboard. I'm just picking random ones here, and then once you pick the motherboard. That's a bit of lag there. Once you pick the motherboard, it then tells you what CPUs will fit that motherboard. Obviously, there's not much of a choice at the moment, but we'll pick the Ryzen 5. And then you can then again do the memory. It'll tell you what memory fits and so forth. So you can say, oh yeah, let's go for 4 gig of RAM. I don't know why you would go for a 4 gig of RAM, but you can then select how many you want, so 2, and go through. You can do then graphics cards. Not much choice at the moment, unfortunately. Optical drives, if it allows you. If it doesn't have the option for an optical drive or that part doesn't fit, it'll say on the exclamation mark and it won't let you choose it. Not enough external bays and so forth. You can choose your power supplies and all your different things, and then add-ons like your Windows licenses, monitors, keyboards, mice and stuff. But not only can you sell computers through it, obviously, if you want, you can do a full build and then get Target to ship you the parts. You can build it yourself, or you can get them to build it. But not only that, if someone comes in the store, because you've already got the markup set up and you haven't got these parts, and someone says, "Oh, I want a CPU." Let me just clear the whole list rather than one at a time. I want a CPU. You can just click on the list that says CPU and say, "Right, these are the ones we can get in. They're the prices. We can order it in, and that's what the price is." So it works as a tool to actually sell stuff as well. So it's an ideal thing. Target Components, if you've got all you need is an account with Target Components to use this. If you're not sure how to use it, just contact them. They'll let you know. But as you can see, it's pretty straightforward, and it's got quite a few. This is what it actually looks on your website, however you want it set up. But it's not linked into a payment terminal. That's the only downside. So people can't buy anything online. It's designed so they can design the machine in the store, or you can help them, and then you basically process the payment through your credit card or cash or check if you accept those still, and so on. So it gives you a rough idea.
It is a wonderful tool, in that I used to have to sometimes go away and research to see about compatibility on certain things. And now I don't have to do that research as often. Okay, there's sometimes when they'll throw me a curveball that something it is sold by Target or whatever, and I may have to look that up. But most of it I can configure right before their eyes, and then just go right off to the side and go, right, yes, no, that will work, will not work, whatever.
Yeah, it's pretty good. You can use it for upselling as well. So if someone's designed a machine on there and it says an i5 processor, you can say, well, for an extra, whatever the price difference is, £100, whatever, you can go up to an i7, and then they'll go, yeah, and then you've upsold it. And obviously you can set margins as you want. So it's a pretty good tool in that respect. Do you use that tool at all, Peter, or do you tend to do it your own way?
We spec them our own way, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
The only real tools we use for display purposes. If we've got systems, we use Intel IPOS quite a lot.
Oh yeah.
You know, the one where you install it and it puts all the system specs on the screen. You can put a price in. The latest version that you can build a gaming variant as well. It has some gaming content. That's like a display tool. That's quite handy. But when we spec machines, we've got our own system for doing it.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that IPOS is pretty good because obviously it gives people something to look at, and it shows off the machine at the same time because you can see all the specs, and it shows you the gaming performance differences and stuff like that, doesn't it, as well? So, but yeah, so that's pretty good. Are you thinking about having any machines or anything like that on display, Tim, in your store? Or
yeah, I was thinking about having examples of So I was thinking, let's say one basic, call it an office home use one mid-low gaming, call it entry-level gaming if you might.
Yeah.
And obviously graphics card allowing it, but and then one, if they want to go with the whole hog, then all the fancy glowing light, big case, that kind of thing. That, just so go from that to that. Then if they want to, say, lower the processor or lose the light effect in it, then just give them examples really. But yeah, I've got something spec'd out. It's going to be a bit of fun when I have got it set up. I'm going to be probably spending about a day building the stuff, building the computers and getting them working.
yeah.
And it's just going to be the temptation, being a PC game and have been for about 20 years, not wanting to sit there playing the games all day. But
yeah, that's a good point. So you do have to make sure you get your work done sometimes. So, but but as Peter says, if you're wanting to display it and want people to see the prices and stuff, the Intel IPOS system, it's a brilliant. It's free, so you don't cost you anything, and you just install it on the machine. To put the price in, it automatically picks up all the specs and stuff like that, and then it shows everyone on the screen, saves you printing out loads of stickers and stuff and putting them everywhere. So it's pretty good. Only catch is the machine's got to be on. So it is obviously using power.
I've already got a demo. Yeah, I've already got a demo machine ready built that I was going to use in the store anyway. But yeah, it's just waiting to be properly set up. Really, that is, as it were. So yeah.
Yeah. Does anyone in the chat, you're a little bit quiet tonight, guys, have any specific stock that you use or sell in your store, or you find is popular, what people should be selling? Don't be shy. We don't bite. Well, most of us don't. Well, Cormac's not here. Yeah, we don't bite, so we should be fine. So, is there anything specific you guys do? I'm going to say for us, our main things, what we sell, I must admit, is the security, inks, paper, cables, and obviously the PCs. We also do custom laptops as well. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, the custom laptops, but we use PC Specialist or Fortune Technology, as they're called, the trade arm, to basically buy the chassis in, and then you can put whatever RAM you want in and so forth. So I know most people usually generally just resell branded Lenovo, HPs and stuff like that and so forth. So Facebook user, not sure who Facebook user is, but SSDs and power supply. Yeah, power supplies is always a big one. Forgot to mention that we always keep a good selection of those in. Not usually too high though. We usually keep up to about an 850 roughly watts in. That covers 99% of machines. 850 watt does, and plenty of SSDs. SSDs.
Well.
What was that? Sorry, Ian?
I stock a lot of motherboards. I've noticed that sales of motherboards has gone up a lot. And I use them for my pre-builds as well and the gaming machines that I buy. But I always tend to win quite a lot of motherboards at auctions, etc. But I do buy a lot when I see them cheap, because some of the good ones are in short supply.
Yeah, that's a good point. Cormy's asking what solid state drives is everyone reselling at the moment. Our sales, we're not 100% sure. Oracle looks pretty good to us, but obviously we're not ordering anything until we're pretty much open and seeing what's what. We've still got a few bits left over. We have been buying Lexar in the past, mainly when they were at CMS, but they're not there anymore. So, but to be honest, I'm finding a lot of them at the moment very, very similar, to be honest with you, or at least the branded ones. The bits inside are generally or usually are very similar controllers, very similar memory, and so forth. So it's as if they're all pretty much getting made in the same factory and they're being rebranded. I know they're not, but a lot of them seem very similar. So
Whitehouse, nice actually.
Yeah.
And I like the boxes. Not that anyone ever sees my boxes, but they are lovely boxes. The packaging's swish. And Transcend, I find I haven't had a failure with a Transcend yet. Years.
Yeah, Transcend's good. We've done Transcend in the past. Mark said Patriot. Patriot, I've not had too bad issues with Patriot. Ones what I have had issues in the past, I think it was the A400, was it? Or whatever series was the Kingston A400. We had a lot of fails on those. Usually after the warranty's gone and everything, and then suddenly it decides it's suddenly going to come up with, what is it, firmware fail or something. It renames the drive in the BIOS and it says firmware whatever. You try flashing it and fixing it, and most of the time it just doesn't want to do, and that's on the Kingston drives. Sorry if there's a Kingston rep watching. If you want to change my mind, feel free to send something over. But at the moment we have had quite a few issues with Kingston drives in the past. So Mark's saying he's had issues with A-Data as well. Oh, okay. I've also used Gigabyte ones as well. Not had any issues with those. They've been pretty good. I think Hits, when he was in with Gigabyte, got us into those. He's now working for CMS, but they must admit they are pretty good drives. But I do like the Lexar, and the Oracle ones look promising as well, and we'll have to have a closer look at those. We've reviewed them. They did pass pretty good, well on our tests, but obviously time will tell on any product, especially SSDs, how good they are. And Kunal's saying, we've had the same issue as well, replying to Mark, which was the issues with A-Data. So you never know. They're all probably all using the same controller or the same memory in the same factory or something along that line. So, right, is there anything else you guys use or sell, or what you think should be mentioned?
Laptop screens.
Laptop screens. Yes, laptop screens get sold a lot.
Yeah. How many have come in where it's the kids dropped it, or it's mysteriously hit the deck and they don't want to admit it's it's a grown-up parent that's done it out of frustration? Yeah.
I had somebody come in one day, and the lid of the laptop looked like someone, to put it politely, had sat on it. There is just no other way of
quite literally sat on it.
Well, it was the shape.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no other thing in the world that looks like that, you know. And I said immediately to the guy, I said, "Did so and so sit on it?" His wife, you know. No. I said, "Did you sit on it?" Because he's considerably a bit thinner. And no, I said, well, the child didn't do it, so what have you had to? No, it just did that. I came in there and it was like that. I said, well, then before you got to it, someone sat on it.
Yeah.
Elephant that keep in the garden, probably.
Yeah, and he said that the computer had done it to itself.
Yeah.
I was
you
like,
get a few
no, I'm sorry, they just don't bend into that perfect shape.
Well, what are you guys finding the most popular size at the moment? Are you finding 14 inches are making sort of a big appearance due to the obviously being popularity in the last year or so?
Yeah, I think so. Most of the ones most of the laptops I'm buying are 14 inch as well, like the Elite books and stuff.
Yeah, I think I've been getting a lot of the smaller screens, mainly because of, again, these are laptops the kids have been given for the school stuff, that kind of thing, where they've broken them. Don't know how they've done this damage to it, but yeah, all the 15.4s, that kind of thing. They're the other parts of the general normal size laptop screens, we'll say. I've not had a lot of problems with the 17 inch, so the gaming size ones come in.
I think we've lost Tim again.
I think
The
it's
audio is a bit iffy tonight.
prices of screens have gone up remarkably, haven't they? Though.
Yeah, sorry about that, Tim. You sort of went a little bit again is probably the best way of putting it. So I think you keep losing a bit of connection every now and again. It'll work fine, and then suddenly you suddenly start and then go really quiet. So yeah. I think you were saying, was it 17-inch ones you're not selling much of, or?
Yeah, I get a couple of them. I get the interest in the 70. So those people that have got the gaming laptops in particular, where they want to say, don't know, they've just gone and bought a 17-inch gaming one, and they want to get 144 hertz screen, that kind of thing. But with those, it's generally replacing a perfectly good generic 60 hertz screen, that kind of thing. But yeah, mainly repairs. We're talking the 15.4s and the standard size office kind of laptops you might get. So, but particularly for the old laptops is where I'm finding the prices are going skyrocketing. Is one way I'll put it. I think by about, I say 20-30% for one screen. 1 week it went up. Next week another one of the same laptop make came out. Yeah, it had gone up. So
Are they for screens with built-in inverters, or the ones where the inverters are separate?
That's where the inverter's all separate. So these are the ones that's just the screen, not even touch screen. These are just the bog standard screens. So I've taken to sometimes buying 2 or 3 of them. So I've got a couple. So.
I think we're losing you again, Tim. I think you got a bad connection there somewhere.
Yeah.
So
all right.
yeah, laptop screens. Yeah, I must admit that's something I've not really thought much about. But yeah, we do usually do quite a few of those, obviously with repairs and different things like that. So at least the old LCD type screens are no longer around. I remember when those suddenly went, well, they stopped making them, didn't they? And the prices went sky high. I can't say I've seen anyone needing a laptop needing one of them for a long time, but since they went on to LEDs, it seems a lot better. So let's have a look. Village IT saying moving into a unit in a couple of months. I fix phones, iPads too. So we'll be stocking a load of phone cases, cables, chargers, etc. as we're thinking about for those with point of sale display. And that's from Ben at Village IT. Yeah, it's good if anyone's obviously doing phone stuff. That's one thing we don't do in our store. We're basically Windows-based PCs, laptops only, but we pass on our work to not really a competitor, but another local store if it's any of that other type of work and so forth. Right, is there anything else what anyone can think of what they need to keep in store and stock ready for reopening? There's one thing I've not heard today, and let's have a look what Peter's putting his hand up, is he?
Yeah, well, just on screens, not normal PC screens as well, for people that are upping their home game for their home offices. They want dual screen at home, or they've been working on a laptop for X amount of months, and then they've just suddenly decided they want an extra screen or an extra 2 screens or in a docking station. So yeah, make sure you've got just PC screens as well, not just replacements. So yeah, definitely have some of those printers as well. People have been putting up with all this technology while they've been locked down, and now they're able to go out and buy new stuff. They'll probably go out and say, "Oh, need a new printer, need a new screen." So definitely make sure you've got some of those bits in stock.
One last thing we're going to have plenty of stock of is PPE, masks, gloves, hand sanitizers, you name it. I will be offering hand sanitizer to the public, as well as sanitizing my own hands and using gloves and things like that, and masks, just to help out in everything.
Yeah, that was the thing I was expecting everyone to mention is they're going to make sure they've got loads of PPE equipment, but Jen beat me to it. So, but yeah, so obviously make sure you've got that. And obviously if you're cleaning devices and giving them back to customers, it's always good to put a little sticker on saying they've been sanitized and stuff like that. It just gives the customer a bit of reassurance. I think we got that one from Mr. Cormac O'Donoghue, Mr. King of Ireland himself, that tip. So yeah, get a little sticker, stick them on there just saying it's been sanitized. It just reassures people. So when you clean it down, which I'm presuming most people clean the laptops down and PCs when they get them in for repair afterwards, then just stick the sticker on and maybe put it in a clear plastic bag or something like that, so it just looks like it's nice and ready for them.
I used to clean only the horrible looking you didn't want to touch, but now I'm cleaning everything that comes through the store, just as a service to the customer, as part of what we do, just to give it back to them and have it look really presentable and everything. And it has that fresh aroma of clean to it as a little extra touch. So
yeah. We've always done is clean stuff anyway, and you tend to get more comments from people saying the laptop looks new than the actual repair you've done on it or whatever, because it looks clean. But Kuno's also saying a big shortage on printers. I've not really looked at printers too much. That's something we've got to order back in, is printers. We've got 1 or 2 on one side, but are you guys finding there's a shortage of printers as well?
There has been. They freed up a bit in the last month. Epson have had some big shipments come in, some of the broadline disties, so they're starting to come back through, and the pricing starting to come back down to be a bit more sensible. So yeah, just to have a proper look, see what's coming through now, but it's starting to free up a little bit.
Were they stuck in the Suez or something, you think?
Possibly.
Yeah, it's been one of those things for the last year. Printers have been a bit of a shortage, with everyone suddenly working at home, a bit like the monitors, webcams and stuff like that, and laptops. I think all the 3080s at the moment and 3070s have been stuck in the evergreen, I think, or at least that's probably the next thing will get blamed. So Justin say, yeah, it's a good idea, Justin, moving over to paper bags instead of plastic. So that's something I think once we've gone through our current supply of plastic bags, what we've used to put laptops in, we will be moving over to paper as well. It just obviously helped the environment and everything, and it's one of the things we do when we're reviewing stuff as well, is mentioning to these manufacturers, why do you have to individually wrap 10 different items inside a box in plastic and then put it in a box and then put more plastic around it, and then put it in another box and put more plastic around it? I know it's all manufactured separately and stuff, but God, the amount of plastic I go through when I'm reviewing products is absolutely stupid, especially the smaller products. Are probably the worst. So, right, has anyone else got anything else they'd like to say before we call it a night? Anyone in the chat got anything they want to say or talk about? While we wait for you to respond, next week we do have a show, and I think it's one Ian is interested in. It's refurbishing tech, so it's going to be like laptops and stuff like that. You got any pointers you want to give us in advance, Ian, for that show? I'll put you on the spot here.
It's a bit to do with what I said about earlier about what I'm finding is some of the older stuff that I've got coming in that is DOA on the right, dead on arrival. Through this group, I've found people that can repair, do mainboard repairs and micro soldering and stuff like that. Something that I know nothing about, or nor do I really want to. But I know that I can send it off to them, and then I'll come back with a working motherboard that I can then refurbish the machine and resell it, because it's an i7 or an i5 5th, 6th, 7th gen, and that's still perfectly usable for everybody, really, unless you're a gamer. And I sell a lot of those sort of stuff, but now knowing that I can take a real dead product and with the help of other people get it refurbished to a saleable level is great. The only thing is getting parts. Parts on eBay, they've gone down or they've gone through the roof. So I'm getting a lot of stuff from AliExpress, and I have to say, touch wood, it's coming through within a fortnight, and really good products. Really good.
Wonderful.
We'll go a bit more into that one next week. So if you guys are interested in refurbishing stuff, I think Ian's your man. We're going to have a few other people on the show. I haven't got a full list yet, but we'll sort that out next week. Doesn't look like we've got anything else coming in from the comments section. So I would like to thank, obviously, Ian, Jenny, Peter, and Tim for joining tonight. If you are an independent trader, store owner, MSP, tech, vendor, distributor, you can find out more information about Tech for Techs at tech4techs.co.uk/join. Join over 1,100 members just like you that can give you free business or tech advice. And did I say it's totally free to join with no membership fees or cost to you? When you do click that join button, though, please, please, please answer the questions. Otherwise, we won't let you in. It's as simple as that. You'll just get turned down. We've turned down more people than we'll let in by nearly tenfold every week. So make sure you fill those questions in. Otherwise, you're going to have to reapply again. So otherwise, I would like to say thank you for watching and thanks for supporting independent businesses. And we'll see you same time next week. That's Thursday at 8 p.m. Thanks again, everyone. See you later.
Good night.
Wow.
Night.